For those of you that were unable to attend the school board meeting last night regarding the proposed tuition increase, I am here to summarize for you. This meeting was over an hour long, so I'm going to try and condense it in about 10 minutes. And I wrote a few notes so I don't forget some things. Don't worry, this was my first school board meeting too. I had never been to one before. Okay, so the proposed tuition increase was about $1,000 per student, with the collective goal of raising an additional $300,000 per year in budget money for Temple. The goal in raising this money was twofold. First, we want to bless the teachers. We want to try and increase their salaries to be a little bit closer towards public school salaries. We want to keep our wonderful talent, and we want to be able to acquire new talent as the student body continues to grow. The second goal in increasing the tuition and raising this money is to pay down our building debt quicker, moving us towards the possibility of breaking ground on a new middle school, high school building sooner. As we know, the elementary building has allowed our student body to grow, and so eventually those students will need to move to a larger, more up-to-date space with a lot more safety features similar to what the new elementary building has. So the thought at this time is that a third of the money raised, a third of the increase of tuition, so about $100,000 would go towards the teacher salary increases, and 2/3 would go towards the building fund, so about $200,000. So there's two ways we can do this. The first way is the easy way, which is we do nothing. We don't increase teacher salaries, and we don't try and move forward with the middle school, high school building quicker. We just leave it as is. And by doing that, we likely will break ground with the middle school, high school building in about 8 years. Or the second option is we can increase tuition and expedite things, possibly breaking ground on the middle school, high school building in about 4 years. Either way, this increase, if we do it, will save the school over $400,000 in interest on the remaining elementary loan that we have right now. Okay, so now that you have the facts, I'm sure you're thinking, what about me? What about my family? $1,000 is still a lot of money, especially if you have multiple kids going to Temple. We have 2 kids going to Temple, and eventually we'll have 4 kids going to Temple. So it is a lot to think about. Most of us, over 90% of us, are sending our children to Temple for free now, thanks to the expanded income guidelines of the EdChoice Expansion Scholarship that started about 2 years ago. But most of us who initially started going to Temple went to Temple knowing that it would be a sacrifice. We went prior to this change. We made sacrifices in our lives to divert money to prioritize Temple Christian School. When my daughter started at Temple, we were paying over $5,000. And of course, that's a lot of money. And now we're going for free. And $1,000 is a lot more money than free, but it's certainly a lot less money than $5,000. And it is a sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice that will bear fruit to TCS's future. So the next portion of the meeting was a discussion about practical ways that we as parents can mitigate and potentially offset the tuition increase by utilizing something called the OCEN SGO. So OCEN SGO, and that's a lot of letters. It stands for the Ohio Christian Education Network Scholarship Granting Organization. Okay, stay with me. This part can be a little bit technical, but it's not complicated. This organization gives scholarships to students who go to Ohio Christian schools that apply for the scholarship. So the way that pot of money is funded is through our tax dollars. So anyone who pays taxes to the state of Ohio can choose to allocate a portion of their taxes towards Temple Christian School, up to $750 for an individual or $1,500 for those who are married filing jointly. So for example, if you get your taxes out, your Ohio taxes, and you look on the form, line 10, and you see how much taxes did I pay to the state of Ohio last year. So I'm just going to give the example of, say, $2,000. So say we paid $2,000 of Ohio income tax last year. What I can do is go to the OCEN website. So it's ohiocen.org. I can go to this website and contribute $1,500 since we're married filing jointly via check or credit card. And then when we file our taxes for this year, I can just hand that receipt to my tax person and they deduct that $1,500 from what I owe the state of Ohio. So that money's already been pulled out of my paycheck, already been pulled out of my husband's paycheck, and so we will get a $1,500 refund check. So all I'm doing is moving money. Either way, I owe, in this example, $2,000 to the state of Ohio for income tax. I can either pay all of it to the state of Ohio, or I can just pay them $500 and then pay Temple $1,500. It seems like a no-brainer to be able to decide where you want your tax money to go. We're just diverting it. We're not giving it all to the state of Ohio. We don't owe any more or any less on our taxes. It's just moving the money. And make sure when you do donate that you designate Temple Christian School. Don't just leave that blank or it goes into the big pot. We want it to go into Temple's pot. Okay, so now say all of us parents do this. We get all of our kiddos' grandparents on board. We find a friend from church and we let them know that, hey, they can donate to Temple without actually donating any money to Temple through this process. If we can talk to other people about it, get other people on board, and say we get lots of people to donate and we get $300 in this scholarship pot from the OCEN SGO. That would cover every child's tuition increase, giving the school $300,000 additional budget dollars and not costing any of us parents anything additional. And that's if we can all come alongside each other and do this. That's especially important for those of you who have not filed your taxes yet this year for 2024, because you can go to this website, donate today, go make an appointment with your tax professional the next business day, file your taxes, do the e-file and get an e-check refund in like 3 or 4 days, however long it takes, and you're only out that money for a week, either in your account or that money's only on your credit card for less than a week, and then you can pay it off with that refund check. So it's really not a lot of money out of your pocket for a long period of time. So just designate that money for 2024, even though it's 2025, you can still do that and count it towards your 2024 taxes. Okay, so all the scholarships come from SGO. The money doesn't go to Temple, it goes into the SGO pot. So SGO would then distribute it to Temple students by application. So this same website is the same website that you would apply for the scholarship. And the scholarship is income-based. So if not everybody is putting money in this pot, if this pot isn't big enough for to cover all of the students' tuition, it would go by low income first and then work its way up. So the more people that participate, the more likely everybody is to get a piece of this. And if you're thinking, well, I might not get it, so why should I do this? The answer is because why would you give your money to the state of Ohio anyway? What are they going to do with your tax dollars when either way you can be giving it to Temple? At least this way we know that Temple's using it for good things, we know what they're doing with it, and we don't really know what the state of Ohio is doing with all this money. So it's no skin off your back, it's no additional money, it's just moving it and allowing you the possibility of potentially getting a scholarship to cover your child's tuition. My husband and I did this 2 years ago and it was really easy. We didn't do it last year because we had a newborn and I just totally forgot, but it was really simple. We just went on the website, we donated the money, we gave the paper to our tax person, and we literally got a check for $1,500 because that's about how much money, we were about at zero for how much money we usually get back out of taxes. So we got $1,500 back and we weren't out that money for very long. So it's an easy way to help Temple. It's an easy way to mitigate this tuition increase. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, reach out to Temple. And I can also put a link for another explanation video that might explain it better than I can. And also a link to this website. Thanks.